That's a great idea, though. When I was doing a run with Evil Twin, I used to keep everything truly dangerous in a chest in my inventory. That way when the Evil Twin showed up, they didn't have access to the worst things I use. We've got an Ice Root Cherub and 2 Learned Equins. Not the scariest. The Shemesh Face. I mean, +5 ego. Ain't bad. Do you have Phase Conjugate as a tinkering mod? I believe I do. That is one of my priority purchases because of Astral Tabbies. You only have to die to Astral Tabbies once to learn to always buy Phase Conjugate. Yep, we got Phase Conjugate. You know, since we're here, remember the fortune of Yasa II's foes. Near the location of Burkabal, Yasa II was captured by bandits. She murdered their leader by inventing and releasing clockwork beetles, and was thenceforth known as Quillcaller. Torment, Ekalil Knot of College Democracy of Narsimrad. It was there that Yasa II lost her prize, Shining Gaka Yasabun, during the ritual of the Empyrean Augur. Oh, interesting. Make the nude phase conjugate, and then phase out. Couldn't I phase out and throw? No, because I would be in the wrong phase. The grenade would be in the wrong phase. Yeah, that's one way to go about it. I dig that. I have recipes that grant phasing. Remember when, while wandering around Gymnasium Theocracy of Sharuk, Yasa II taught a clan of roots the ritual of the astral autocry, which can only be performed by one of her philosophical eyes. The roots were grateful, and in return they accepted her in their fold and taught her their secrets. On the anniversary of a great battle, a historian found a babe with its mouth full of clockwork tools outside his college. He said, "What are you doing with that? Spit it out, drop, spit it out. How did you even get this?" He and his fellow historians adopted the baby and named her Yasa II. Treasure Yasa II. Friend historians and liberators of Kagalil, who led an army to its gates and deposed its perfidious lords. The people of the city climbed the crystal blast furnaces in Jubilee, dowered Yasa II with the Shemesh face, and crowned her Colton of Sud. Cud. I spoonerized that one. In her honor, they renamed Kagalil to Yasabad. I know, this game, the ways you can play it, the random stuff that happens, it's all amazing. There's the Colton of Suds. Hark! So many kids got clockwork tools in their mouths. I'm starting to think they're repair timepieces using teeth here. My favorite was in the Betrayal of the Flesh run. One of the sultans, when they were like 8 years old, died when their cart went off a cliff. But it turns out they were secretly alive when they came back 5 years later. And then they died by driving their chariot off a cliff. But it turns out they were secretly alive when they came back like 5 years later. And then they drove their chariot off a cliff. You just watched this episode. I was blown away. Like, over the course of the game, I'm like, didn't I already read about him driving his chariot off a cliff? What's going on? And then I went into the history, just like off a cliff, off a cliff, off a cliff. Like, Shadats, what's going on? You just pick this game up, but you're having a tough time getting into it. Do you just auto-explore and go to points of interest? So, my recommendation is, if it's your first time, go with Joppa as your starting town, even though I hate Joppa as my starting town. I never go there, but it's great for your first time. Talk to characters. Using backspace on your keyboard will give you a list of anyone that there has dialogue, basically. So if you use backspace, you could talk to those characters. They'll give you quests to go on, and you could open your map and, like, go on adventures. Like, go to the places they tell you about, do the quests, and as you explore, you'll learn about historic sites that have treasures in them, and you can make your own little quests, like, go and find the treasure in those places. Right now, we're in a main story location. Like, this is part of the main quest, and I do like the main quest a lot. Like, I recommend, like, work your way through the main quest. It gives you things to do, and in between doing those things, explore the map. Go to random places, go to points of interest. If it works. And kill everyone you share a drink with for more bonus enemies. Yeah, definitely, like, read the descriptions, look at stuff. You've been playing on Steam Deck. I've never played with a controller, but I hear they worked pretty hard on getting the Steam Deck integration to work pretty good. For the sake of wisdom, Yasa II settled at Yasabad in Gymnasium Theocracy of Sharuk to labor among the plebeians and repair cylinders. After 2 humble years, she appeared anew at Burkabal. Pay homage to Yasa II, child of clockwork tools and savior of Taravur, who led an army to its gates and ousted its fraudulent lords. The people of the city climbed the ether octahedron in Jubilee, yodeled Yasa II's name, and renamed Turava to Yasagrad in her honor. I found a new hobby of following a kraken, getting tons of meat and trash. Yes, salt krakens, if you just wander behind them, like, they'll poop out chests with stuff inside. They also will eat chests. I have lost a historic relic to a salt kraken before. Somewhere in Gymnasium Theocracy of Sharuk, Yasa II had a dream that she was hoarding jewels. From that day forth, she always kept some sapphires hidden in her prison pocket. Recall the lesson that Yasa II taught her advisors when they suggested she abdicate the throne after several tumultuous years. Did she do any such thing? No! Instead, she reassured her counselors by gently explaining why she disagreed. I really thought that was going to end with them being dead. Or, again, my favorite one we ever found. When someone pissed off the Sultan, she launched them into orbit. I had a salt kraken go through the stilts. A few individuals attacked it, lost, and I got a bunch of free loot. Sadly, in this playthrough, I have made an enemy of the Merchants Guilds, and so I have sadly had to kill every single merchant in the 6-day stilt. There are no living merchants in the 6-day stilt in this run anymore. Anyway, for Lucky, we are in a place called the Tomb of the Eaters right now. And it has the history of all the sultans written on the walls. And each floor has a coffin with treasure in there. But in order to open it, you have to fight these very scary enemies. Lucky, thank you for that follow and welcome to Shake the Box family. Very happy to have you here. So we're going to be robbing one of these tombs, and it's going to be a very, very weird fight. But first, we're going to explore and see which treasures we want. Spoilers, it's going to be the first one. Because holy, I've never seen such good gear in one box before. I went the wrong way. If you are interested in Caves of Cut, I would say exclamation mark YouTube in chats. It'll bring up the YouTubes. On the main channel, I did a playthrough called Betrayals of the Flesh that I cut out all the wandering around and, like, boring bits and get right into the meat and potatoes. I recommend that one if you're looking for a good time. It was a body horror playthrough, and I think my strongest run I've ever had, which was funny because it started as completely random builds. You can only take one. Once you rob a tomb, the alarms go off, and the rest of the coffins get schlorped into the ground. They get taken away. What? Another 4? Frill the Worldly Tetriactes Arc? Iron Festival. Obliterates all members. Does this dude just have 2 genocide cubes? This dude has 2 genocide cubes. That's scary. Oh yes, I would also suggest what Drobador's saying there. Do your first one on roleplay. Roleplay mode means you can kind of experiment and die, and it's not that big a deal. Although dying and making a new run is also fine. +1 willpower, 400 reputation with swine. And, okay, mask. Floor 1 is still the best one. Auditor, a blessing for the joined. Yasa III and Naftul, whose illustrious alliance by marriage dismounted the spatial host, and their ghastly custom of drifter rituals. Do they just pick up drifters in a car and murder them? Are they like hitchhike murderers? We'll get all 4 treasures, but only those 4. The rest of the floors will lock up. You stole from the village and got murdered? That'll happen. When the message pops up, it's not yours, so it might be mad. You can, if you have a building with a chest in it, and there's a door and no windows, close the door. If there's no line of sight, and you've closed the door, you could steal from the chest and no one will know. If there's a window or an opening, if there's anyone like within 15 tiles, they'll hear you open it and they'll get angry. But if they're far enough away and you close the door and there's no sight line, you can also steal from those. But that one's a little iffy. Didn't come back to it for 8 months. Now it's one of your favorite games. Taking a break is sometimes an important thing in games. Like the second Final Fantasy remake game, Rebirth, the open world aspects of that game make me angry and they bore me. So I stopped playing it, and like when I get back in there, I'm gonna turn it back on at some point, and I'll probably enjoy it on that attempt. But boy howdy, my first time I just kept on getting angry every time I had to walk somewhere. Finally happened upon a very newbie-friendly classic mode build. Nice. Left it alone for a year and then you mastered it. Sometimes that's what it means. Like, you gotta walk away sometimes. Like some of my favorite games, I bounced off a little bit and came back. Like that happened with Rift Wizard for me. I was watching it on Twitch. I was kind of into it. I tried it. It's like, ah. Then I came back like 3 months later. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna try streaming it. And over the course of streaming it, I got really into it. You have yet to conquer Golgotha? Wings. Use wings. Pet sitting his kitties? Nice. Martin, were you here when we showed Benji? Good boy Benji? I'll give Benji a treat. Ba-ba. Ba-ba. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-ba. Ba-ba-da-ba. Well, a treat, buddy? Nom nom nom. Nom nom nom. He's relaxing. He's just having a good time. In the year of the crown boon, an aspirant claimed ascendancy from the Fossilized Sods and challenged Yasa III over the tradition of scurrying the stars. Of course, Yasa III won and had the aspirant imprisoned. You're a dog person. No wonder I like you. I love dogs. I'm visiting my family in New York, which means I get to spend time with my little buddy Benji. We also have a chocolate lab, but he's with my brother in Boston right now. That would be Plato. My very first time in Golgotha, I went in the long way and successfully completed it. Didn't kill the cloaca, which I didn't know was there. I do recommend, like, at some point, do Golgotha proper. It is a fun dungeon, but it feels like it's secretly there to teach you about diseases, but it doesn't give you a copy of the corpus colis. I wish My one change I would make to Golgotha would be when they tell you to go and get a way droid, they tell you, like, hey, you should get the... Mafio tells you about it, but he doesn't give you a copy. Like, he should give you a copy of the book. He should be like, hey, here's a book for you. You do eventually learn, like, there's a guaranteed place to find the Corpus Colis. It's just a little far away. A Dromec caravan was there selling the corpus? That's great. That's so lucky. Claimed ascendancies from the fossilized sides and challenged Yasuo III over the tradition of scurrying the stars. Of course, Yasuo III won and had the aspirant imprisoned. But not launched into space? Let us recall the year of the Strange Republic, when deep enshrined autocracy of Suk, Yasuo III subjugated Tebimish and tamed the wild mollusks who lived there. To demonstrate his knowledge to them, he found a new home. Stirred by a cherished boat found inside an Empyrean tetrahedron, Yasuo III visited his yurt and found an artifact. He named it Boataka, the coolest boat. Grim, I would say it is definitely worth full price. Like, I will tell you right now, that DLC is massive. Like, it's a $40, right? $40 expansion. It is bigger than most other video games. It's huge. I think it's worthwhile. It is just, it's so big. I was blown away by the size of it. Also, I really liked it. I know a couple of people who consider it their game of the year, but I don't consider DLCs or expansions to be games. So, it's like, if it requires a base game, it can't get game of the year. That's my one rule. Oh, Benji. I played Dark Souls 1 until I know death through New Game Plus 17. Played Elden Ring for about 2 hours. It is a much different experience. Like, I know a lot of people say they are the same, but they're not. Yes. Honestly, Martin, I liked every boss fight in the DLC, including some that people hated. I liked them. Except for 2. There's 2 bosses in that fight that I'm not a fan of. But even then, like, I still had a good time. Came at you at the wrong... you know, we were just talking about it. Hop back in there at some point and you'll probably have a great time. Taking, like, a long break when you bounce off is fine. I played a truly unhealthy amount of games. Yeah, like, if you don't like Elden Ring, the expansion's not gonna make you like it. That said, I really enjoyed the new stuff that's in Elden Ring. Like, it is more Elden Ring, but, like, the new weapon types and movesets that are introduced are pretty interesting. Like, I liked all the new stuff. Yeah, I gotcha. Like, I would say if you like Elden Ring, the expansion is... it's basically a must-have if you like it. If you don't like it, you're not gonna like the expansion. Oh yeah, great soundtrack too. No, I loved Shadow of the Erdtree. It was a great expansion. I'm even excited for what is it? Night Vale? Night something? Night Vale. I want to say Night Vale. The upcoming, like, 3-player Night Rain. Yes, Night Rain. I'm excited for Night Rain. Quit stalling, I'm sorry. We're talking about cool stuff. Recall when wandering around Shawan, Yasuo III taught a clan of cannibals the ritual of the cosmic tile, which can only be performed by one with his foreign eyes. The treacherous cannibals committed treason against him and stole the secrets of the ritual. Nameless King made you question it. So it takes place not in the same universe. It's like a branched timeline, is my understanding. And the director of the game has said, like, He basically wanted to just make a love letter to all the things he likes about all of the games that the company has worked on in the past, like, 10 years. And so it's just like this weird remix of all his favorite stuff. And that's what made me, like, I was on the fence until I heard him talk about it, and then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm into it. I'm into it. Plus, I love Helldivers. Like, I'm a big fan of PvE multiplayer. I love, like, working with other people in a chaotic situation to fight overwhelming odds. That's my favorite multiplayer experience. Remember the lesson that Yasa III taught his advisors when they suggested he abdicate the throne after murdering a popular rival with a dagger made of sand. Did he do any such thing? No. Instead, he murdered every one of them with a map made of canvas. I love this in contrast with the, no, he calmly explained why they disagreed. This character's like, no, I'm not going to calmly explain nothing. I'm going to murder you with a map. The map has a direction on it, how to reach your heart. Step 1, walk forward with dagger until heart. Recall the year of the erstwhile farm, when the moral degeneracy of ghost worship was rampant. Oh, those degenerates. Was rampant in Shrine Autocracy of Souk. Recall that Yasa III, to redeem the moral code, appointed a minister who mandated the practice of climbing a mountain. It's like, I'm sorry, do you want to have sex with a ghost? Absolutely not. Go climb that mountain. Go climb that mountain right now. You climb that mountain so you don't want to have sex with a ghost anymore. Then you come home. At daybreak on the first day of autumn, a nomad found a babe with a worldly pair of sandals in each hand outside his yurt. He and his fellow nomads adopted the babe and named him Yasa III. In Shrine Autocracy of Souk, Yasa III averted his descendancy from the fossilized Sads, who were known for venerating nomads. By holy right, he ousted the pretender sultan who had prohibited venerating nomads in favor of union worship, and crowned himself Sultan of Kut. At 7 years old, this dude was like, not just busting unions, he was busting the concept of unions. I like the murdered by a map, made of canvas, as I imagine that would take a significant amount of effort, right? Yeah, insane boss crossovers and mods. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited. At the first time I heard about it, I was like, oh, this might be the first time I'm not going to enjoy a FromSoft game in like 20 years. Nah, I think I'm gonna be alright. Roused by a treasured bedroll found inside a spatial cylinder, Yasa III visited his yurt and found an artifact. He named it Bedrollica. I'm sorry. Did this dude have a bedroll that he turned into an artifact? Bedrollica? I found a kid with fancy sandals and adopted him. Damn, are those Jordans? You're my son now. It's his blankie. Alright, I gotta say, this playthrough has had phenomenal history generation so far. Some very good stuff in here. Alright, this is the last one before we get to the top, I believe. I just disarmed phase cannon by heart protractor flattening fire and slammed a long hole in a wall. I am neutral with robots, and hyper protractor can relocate them. Looks like this item will be another permanent addition to my loadout, just like mechanical wings. Oh, nice. I'm finding that if you put your baby with some assorted objects randomly on a staircase, they'll take you in and deify you. It's how you become a ruler. Alright, the Levant face. Teleportation on level 5. It's alright. And then examine. Shrewd Window Maker. There's so many genocide boxes this run. Roused by a treasured pair of sandals, wrested from the liminal tears of shale toppled spire, Yasa IV visited his workshop and tinkered an artifact. He named it Pericus. Perry the Pericus. In the year of the Forgotten Liberator, Yasa IV, the Terrible Telescope, Ursina's husband, laid his body to rest and crossed in the Bright Shoal. He was 94 years old. venerate Yasa IV, child of wind and liberator of New Ilobal, who led an army to its gates and deposed its treacherous magistrates. The people of the city wrapped themselves with filament and gaiety, dowered Yasa IV with a Levant face, and declared him Sultan of Kut. In honor, they renamed New Ilobal to Yasaplatz. Let us recall the year of the extricated festival, when, while wandering around Pound Autocracy of Shikirk, Yasa IV subjugated Benimas and tamed the savage tortoises who lived there. To demonstrate his knowledge to them, he assembled a new contraption. That can mean anything. That could be a drinking bird. That could be a seesaw. Honor the virtuous baboons of Colosseum city-state of Arkalep, who came to Yasa IV, rescued when a troop of treacherous frog sabotaged the cinder acreage in his salt dihedron, causing it to implode. I read all those words, but I don't think I understand what I read. Sabotage the cinder acreage in his salt dihedron, causing it to implode. Okay. No, I don't know what that means, but it's history, and I respect it. While traveling alone in Colosseum city-state of Arkalep, Yasa IV journeyed to a sacred shrine. From that day forth, he was obsessed with maps. Dihedron, two solid. Yeah, I know what a dihedron is, but I'm not sure I understand, like, a salt acreage, a dihedron, an implosion. What happened in there? Like, I'm a Dungeons and Dragons nerd, so, like, dihedron's a stupid thing you say to your friend, like, pass me the dihedron. It's like I need a coin to toss because I'm rolling a 1d2, basically. But like, did he flip a coin and he had, like, a salt flat that imploded? Look at the Wonder Child sent to us by heaven above. He bears an otherworldly artifact. The symbols are badly worn, but our most capable scholars have found the device to be a grill made by the fabled smith George Foreman. A coin has three sides, though. Fun fact, in middle school, we took a test, and the test had a question on there that said, if you flip a coin, how many outcomes are there? And it was a multiple choice question, and the answers were 1, 2, 3, or 4. And I, being a smartass, wrote 4. And when the teacher said, why did you say 4? I explained that you could flip a coin and land heads, tails, land on its side and balance, or just not come back down. And I got credit for that point. I got credit for that question. I got it right. I had to argue, but I got it right. While traveling alone in Colosseum city-state of... Oh, I read this one. Oh, no, I didn't. He journeyed to a sacred shrine, and he was after that obsessed with maps. Have to be a two-dimensional plane. I guess that's true. And that's probably how it imploded. By defying our understanding of, I guess, surface area and a solid. Sacred are the mated, Yasa IV and Ursina, whose historic alliance by marriage dismantled the cinder ground host and their foul custom of kin rituals. Getting escape velocity on a coin flip would be impressive. Like, someone could catch it and walk away with it, it could get stuck in the ceiling. Any number of things could happen. Good call on the teacher's part to give credit. Gotta know the rules to break them, right? I respected that teacher because they were willing to, like, have a conversation about that. Speaking of defying gravity, has anyone seen Wicked? I have not. I'm not much of, like, a musicals person. But, I mean, it's been doing gangbusters, and a lot of people seem to really like it. Have you? Pix has seen it. What'd you think of it, Pix? In the year of the Salt-Spangled Stargazer, an aspirant claimed ascendancy from the fossilized sods and challenged Yasa IV over the tradition of wandering without purpose. Indeed, Yasa IV won and had the claimant killed. I'm more excited for, of course, Nosferatu. I love Eggers. Every movie he's made so far has been awesome. Very excited for that. Oh yeah, it's only the first half. What I find crazy is the actual stage play is shorter than the movie. Like, the stage play, I think, is an hour and 45 minutes long, something like that. The movie is over 2.5 hours long, and it's only part one? How? How did they mine the source material that hard? I don't understand. You love The Lighthouse? The Lighthouse is great. I love The Witch. I love The Green Knight. The Northman. Like, these are all amazing. I'm very excited for it. They pulled The Hobbit. They really, really did, apparently. They asked Peter Jackson. We got 3 long-ass movies out of the children's book of The Hobbits. Oh, you were talking about the... I got you, Pix. I got you. Nope, came from here. Alright, I think next floor is the top. We'll just confirm that, and then we go back down to the first floor and begin the process of attempting to kill a man. Well, kill 4 robots. Ah, shit, this isn't the top. There's one more. I'm bad at counting. In the year of the Curious Acre, Nalatafa subdued the Terakith, who insulated themselves to form the democracy of Relic. Let the fraying reality edges of the Pyrrhic Flats serve as testament to the might of Nalatafa, and a warning to those who would challenge her. God damn it. I accidentally alt-tabbed. While wandering around Sapa, Nalatafa discovered the shrine of Aliomas. There she befriended dogs and penned a historical account. Orlando Bloom's hidden there somewhere. Spamalot. I've seen Spamalot. I've seen Avenue Q. Like, those were enjoyable musicals. So I guess, like, I'm not opposed to musicals on principle. It doesn't seem like my kind of movie is all. What's going on, lady? In the year of the Space Priests, Nalatafa, the great moment in time, chosen arbitrarily, partner of Osmexitus, the bane of Nagatum, laid her body to rest and crossed in a bright shoal. She was 76 years old. Onlooker, observe and wonder the life of Nalatafa. Nalatafa, called the great moment in time, chosen arbitrarily, scion of the fossilized sods, and she who was dowered the olive face, observed the twin miracles of the year of the shrewd hermitage. The heiress was born, and Utafa completed his work on a legendary moment in time, chosen arbitrarily. God damn. Some of these are hard to say. Sweeney Todd, I've seen that one. Ooh, I would watch the Evil Dead musical for sure. Play in Dwarf Fortress with a husband? Nice. Anything good going on in your fortress? Remember, ye skeptics, in the year of the Inquisitive Farm, a confederacy of mysterious strangers and flowers deceived Nalatafa and insulated themselves to form the city-state of Hold. Remember the smite put upon them by Nalatafa, partner of Oxmestis. Oh my god, I can't read anymore. Recall the lesson that Nalatafa taught her advisors when they suggested she abdicate the throne after having made enemies with a collective of scientists. Did she do any such thing? No. Instead, she reassured her counselors by gently explaining why she disagreed. So we have 2 sultans that have this gentle explanation, and one of them murdered everybody. Sacred are the mated Nalatafa and Osmextus, who, historic alliance by marriage, dismantled the low host and their vile custom of mate idolatry. Ooh. So, like, blessed are the mated, but they got rid of the practice of idolizing mates? I heard really good things about the Legally Blonde musical, mostly from your girlfriend. Ah. Gallivant is a musical TV show. I've heard good things about Gallivant. Gallivant. Worship Nalatafa, child of tiny gears and savior of Murchena Steeple, who led an army to its gates and unseated its fraudulent lords. People of the city threw a buggy into the trash sea in joy, shouted Nalatafa's name, and renamed Murchena Steeple to Nalatafplatz in her honor. In Sapa, Nalatafa averred her descendancy from the fossilized Sods, who were known for stopping time. By hallowed right, she ousted the Pretender Sultan, who had prohibited stopping time in favor of shrine worship, and crowned herself Sultan of Kut. She was 27 years old. Recall the lesson that Nalatafa taught her advisors when they suggested she abdicate the throne after several tumultuous years. Did she do any such thing? No. Instead, she murdered each one of them with a dagger made of tiny gears. I'm sorry. This sultan had two situations, and in one she gently explained, and in the other she murdered every one of them with a dagger made of tiny gears. What order do you think it is? Did she murder them and then hire new advisors, and for them she was like, you know what, I'll gently explain? Or did she gently explain, and when it happened again, she was like, no, you motherfuckers had your chance. I explained once. You don't get a second time. She tried the carrot, then the stick. Throw a buggy into the sea, you get a mural. I get a fine and a cease and desist letter from the city of Bethany, Oklahoma. Temporal fugue. That's an alright ability. Alright, baby. With that, I think we're on our way to the top. If on the next floor we find a pool of water and a flying enemy, we know we're there. There it is, pool of water, flying... Oh, they're not enemies though. Alright, so let's head back down. It's time. I wish... Do I know how to make a spiral bore? God, I hope I know how to make spiral bore. Damn it. Random point and programmable though, that's pretty sweet. Ooh, I'm gonna make a programmable recoiler for the bottom. Like right before you get the field that prevents recoiling. That way we can come back to the tomb whenever we want. After dismantling all 5 turrets, I started to kill them out for batteries, and it seemed that without guns, they can't see me. So without guns, they don't have weapons. If you disarm turrets, they're just tripods. Next time she pulled an Italian mob on the next set. I'm not gonna get angry this time. I'm just gonna remind you that the last group to try a coup are now at the bottom of a lake with 1,000 tiny gears-shaped holes in their remains. So, you do you is what I'm saying. Just know I'm gonna do me. Which may involve doing you. Wow. I wish I had a spiral bore. God damn it. It's so much faster when the stairwells are all in the same area. So many screens we gotta cross. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Dynamic tinker turrets are like my favorite. Dynamic turret tinkerers, rather. Because they make relatively high level turrets. And they make them all over the place, and you could disarm them and just take the good guns. It's infinite high-level tinkering bits. And of course you get a good gun. But I love taking them apart for like level 5, 6, 7, and 8 bits. Okay, here we are. We have to kill these 4 things. Let's take a look first at our skills. Specific tinkering here. Lay mine. We can learn how to lay a mine right now. We could set them as bombs. Lay mine, set bomb. Actually, can you take apart the turrets that neutrals drop and not get murdered? I constantly see those guys in the stilt and just avoid them. I believe... I'm trying to remember. So disarming them usually counts as an attack, but the turrets might not cause the other people to aggro on you. You might want to run a test on it. Like, enter and exit the screen until it says game saved if you're playing on classic, and like run a test. You could use precog to try it, or you could like make sure the game's saved, try it out, and if your run's gonna be ruined because you were trying to learn something, you know, Alt F4 and reload the game. Alright, before I learn lay mine, I'm going to make that parts. 63% chance, yes. We're good. Alright, we're in a precognitive vision. Gonna learn lay mine, set bomb. And then right here, go into our grenades. Not like that. Ambient light, recharge, puff spores, lay mine, set bomb. Handy nuke. I've never used set bomb before. I'm a little oh, I have to choose. Set bomb. How many rounds? Max 10. 10 rounds. How long is a round? Is it like every step I take? Alright, I just set a handy nuke. We're gonna teleport over to the wall. And get my team with me. Alright, we should be safe over here. I gained 10,000, 4,000 experience points? It worked! Man, we were far enough away they didn't even see the explosion. I could have been a little closer, I think. Well, that worked out perfectly. I love set bomb. I've never used that before, but that is actually pretty great. Like, if you want to kill something that's neutral, that's very scary, set bomb and just teleport away. No, don't go back to the beginning of my precognition because that was perfect. Oh my god, yeah, we're gonna become Zeus all of a sudden. Oh, I'm so excited. Alright, we're gonna take all tab. Robber chimes ring through the vault, and you hear the grating of stone on stone as the other Imperial reliquaries slide into the unreachable recesses of the tomb. My god. This is gonna be a glow up right here. That was so cool. Like, I'm also agreeing with you that it's cool, but in my head, I had like this dramatic battle that was going to unfold because like one survived or something. But handy nukes are massive explosions. Massive explosions. Like, there's a really intense fight later in the game, and I usually hold on to a handy nuke for destroying a giant mecha suit that comes after you. Remove the Kessel face. Alright, so we just gained plus 10 to all of our resists, plus 1 strength, agility, toughness, intelligence, willpower, and ego, plus 10 quickness. We're gaining 3 DV from it. All of our mutations go up by 1 level. We're getting 200 rep with winged mammals, trees, oozes. We're losing with mosques. And we're gaining electrical generation at level 7. We already have electrical generation at level 2 because of our shoes. Shoes? I have to figure out, like, where my hand goes for... I'm so used to the other setup in Massachusetts that, like, I keep doing stuff with my hands that are under the camera. Anyway, we're at level 9 now for electrical generation. So that's the Kessel face. We're gonna take off my thermocask. And we're gonna equip the Vest of the Vile, which has a whopping 8 AV to it. My god. Plus 2 mental armor, 400 reputation with winged mammals. I keep on hitting escape. Alas, the licensed tiers do not let us use cybernetics. I wish. We're gonna remove this. And we're going to equip the Shank of a Voltaic Ankh. Electrical generation at level 8. Chance to behead mollusks on hit. Alexa, stop. I'm haunted by this robot no matter where I go. Bum item, dismantle. Winged mammals is nice because the stat saps are winged mammals. Yes. All the horrible... I keep hitting escape. The only problem is we have the white hot boomstick of Bigashire, which is a masterwork light rail, which is incredible. This item can be fired while adjacent to multiple enemies without risk of shot going wilds. We have light manipulation at level 6. However, Beck Bespard's digital boomstick, like if we just hold these side by side, 4d12 damage. My god. Well, we have to use it. Electrical generation at level 8. We're gonna lose out on light generation. That's the only downside. I don't have heavy weapon yet, which means we're probably not gonna equip it just yet. So that minus 25 move speed, that is a function of it being a heavy weapon. If you go into skills and you look at heavy weapon though, strapping shoulders, they count toward half weight. Tank, no movement penalty, so we get rid of that minus 25. What's funny is this isn't really a heavy gun, is it? It's 6 pounds. The boomstick weighs less than my current gun. I don't understand. If we go into heavy weapons, the strapping shoulders is going to make that thing weigh very little. But we want to get tank, so we need 250 skill points. We're finally at 0 on strength, which is great. We're at plus 12 for ego, which is awesome. Oh, you're right. Ah, 19 strength. That's rough. That's rough. We're never gonna have 23. I might be happy being slow. Like, maybe it's not that big a deal. Oh, this is a tough one. Either way, our electrical generation's already at level 16 right now, which is pretty stellar. Alright, I don't think we're gonna do it yet. Yeah, like, we have the accuracy. We do have 1 Eater's Tonic. If we're lucky, it'll fall into strength. My base strength is 15. We need 4 points of strength. Woof. Yes, we are gonna be duping it. Man. Hey, that extra point of strength from the Kessel face means I'm no longer over encumbered. I'm gonna take apart my thermocask. That was giving me 4 minus 4. I can't believe how good this is. 8 AV. It weighs... How much does it weigh? 35 pounds. Thermocask? 35. 41! Disassemble. Oh. Oh my god. Alright, I'm gonna go downstairs once. Astral friction diffuses. Tinkering. Programmable recoiler. Tinker one of those up. Install a cell. I think I have to do a nuclear cell for this to work. Imprint. Cool. We have a Tomb of the Eaters recoiler. Specifically, right below, like we're between the dungeon and the top floors. Two-face helmet plus duped Kessel possible. You can't dupe the Kessel face. It is one thing we're not allowed to do, unfortunately. Awe is right. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm a dum-dum. I'm a dum-dum. Precognition. There's something I gotta do. Precognition, start. Amputate limb. I need to borrow an axe from somebody. Sorry, dude, I need your axe. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Who could figure out what I'm about to do? Can you guess? What if you find a clone of yourself deep in the earth? I love that that happened in my other playthrough. I was blown away to find a clone of myself underground. Amputate limb. Amputate my face. Doo-doo-doo-doo. +2 ego. Equip. Oh, just for now, get, I guess. Get. No. No, I'm about to give people itchy skin. Damn it. Mobility impaired? Well fed and emboldened. Alright, no itchy skin, no itchy skin. Alright. I'm cutting my own face off, yes. Because I regrew my face. I can wear my own face. I get the achievement for wearing my own face. But that gives me 2 ego. Though a goat folk bully's face was only worth 1 ego. I'm getting better ego off of that. You regenerate your face right away. That came very quick. Eat the goat face. No. Hell yeah. All right. I'm wearing my own face for bonus ego. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, keep wearing the snake skin. It gives me 8 DV. With a side of fava beans and a nice Chianti. That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, I got my recoiler programmed. I'm wearing my own severed face. I could eat the goat face, but I'll probably cook it with a recipe. Or I might use it for... Oh, yeah, yeah. My shank of the voltaic Ankh. God, I love this game. Trade complete. Save and exit, no shenanigans. Well, my game's soft locked and I lost 2 hours of wandering the wastes. If you go into options, we actually did this earlier. In automation, you could do automatically save when moving into a different zone. You could set it like 1 zone, 2 zones. I think the default is like 5 or maybe even 10. So it's like, save more often. That way if the game crashes, we're okay. So I just saved there instead of the bottom. So we're good now. Alright, let's go. Let's go die. Because the next quest we have to do is die. Ah, wait. Are the other things gonna be angry? It's not that big a deal, we could just teleport past them. They're cool. They don't know that I robbed the joint. Mud! What's going on, Muddy Buddy? Mud, here's Benji. He's sleeping. I don't know if you hear him snoring or not. Oh, his little leg twitched. Oh, he woke up. Oh no, he's sleeping. Oh, he's doing the puppy dream thing. Oh, he's dreaming. He's dreaming. I don't hear the snoring. I want to request the ability. I was playing Helldivers the other day before I set up my audio stuff. And because my audio thing, like, it cuts out background noise. You don't hear my computer fan that's literally on the exterior of my case because I built the most ghetto computer out of old leftover pieces I found lying around. The fan is literally on the outside of the case because there's no room inside the case. So it cuts out that noise. But before I didn't have it set up, so I was playing Helldivers, and Abe Clancy was like, "Is that someone's stomach growling? Like, what's going on?" I realized they were picking up Benji's snoring. I got a good laugh out of that. Doge dream. How you doing, Mud? Is your computer all set up? Are you able to play Helldivers now? I love him too. I want to hope that maybe as of 1.0, more robust treasures are just a thing that's going to be more common in here. Because again, like, that was an intensely good treasure chest we found there. And the other floors weren't that bad either. Like, they're supposed to be diminishing as you go up, like each face is worse than the last. But that was an intensely good one. And then we found another one that had 4 items. Like, that's pretty good stuff. Got one up and running. Probably won't be able to play until after the 25th, though. That's fine. I understand. I'm excited for my... So basically, for those that haven't heard, so Usually I stream in Massachusetts where I have my whole setup. I'm in New York visiting family, and I built this computer out of like all of my old computer parts, pieces that were just lying around. Like someone's just like, I don't need this anymore. It's just in a pile, a case that's basically from the garbage. And I built this computer, so I could leave it here, so when I come to visit family in New York, I don't have to drag my entire PC with me for streaming. But B, my nephew has only ever had access to like a console. There's no computer in this house. Everyone just uses like iPads or their phones. There are no desktops. Like my brother that lives here has a laptop, and that's about it. So I'm gonna leave this here, and you know, I made a second login on the computer for him. And I made a Steam account for him, and I loaded it up with like extra copies of games I had for him. So like he's gonna have Dome Keeper. I picked up Worms Revolution for him because that's my favorite copy of Worms that my brothers also play. So like for Christmas, everyone's gonna get like a wrapped present from me, but for him it's gonna be like, all right, come upstairs. Like here's your login. So when I'm not here, you could use this computer. You could play Steam games. So I think he'll be pretty excited. He'll be pretty stoked, I imagine. Oh, peace to all who canter in the house of the coiled lamb. Hey, buddy. Who are you? Oh, I am Herodotus, lapidary, lithographer, sculptor, calciminer, and biographer to the coiled lamb. I will tarry here until the godhead passes on, and then I will canonize his deeds in high relief. It's one hell of a gift, right? Like, technically the computer is my computer. Like, if when I'm in New York, I'll be using it for work and streaming, of course, but he'll have his own Steam accounts. I'll be loading up, like, I got him to log into his Xbox account credentials for Epic Game Store, so I'm gonna, like, collect every free game every day for him, and for most of the time he'll have access to all of his stuff, and eventually I imagine he'll end up getting his own computer. He'll have all of it ready for him. He starts now. He starts now, man. Get him in the Counter-Strike. I've tarried for quite some time now. What a prodigious reign. Bless the coiled lamb. How do I get the Bright Shoal? Oh, Bright Shoal, the forever braid of life, the garden behind the high gate. Why, you must rank among the crown echelon of machine and folk, and you must, well, you must start to decompose. You must be dead and entombed. The body remains, but the mind wanders. This is called surfing. But yeah, and I mentioned earlier, but like, I even overclocked this computer. I don't normally dabble in overclocking, but like, I got in there. This bad boy is an overclocked computer now. It's pretty sweet for like a bunch of old parts. But it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I could play Helldivers, and after I when I when I first was playing it, I was getting like 14 frames per second. Which is not very good. After overclocking, I'm like 45 to 60 frames per second. It's not the most beautiful game right now, but like, it's pretty playable. Something like Elden Ring just straight up runs at 60 frames per second. So like, it works pretty good. It depends on the game you have going. Like, I tried out the Marvel Rivals, that doesn't run very well. But like, Fortnite runs fine, and that's the game that he's gonna care about the most. Well, I bear the mark, so entomb me. Should you be... Now, I don't rank myself among the doyen on the matter of organic life, but my understanding is that the dead do not speak. Besides, you aren't the coiled lamb, are you? Time to send Zeus to Valhalla. Alas, poor Revok, I knew him, Eros. Wrong on both counts. Reshef stands before you. Entomb me. Actually, Reshef is gone, biographer. I am here, and I have need to travel Bright Shoal. Entomb me. That's not even how it works. First, I image your head, read your self's narrative from the folds of your brain, cross-check it against the thin world's ambient log of your life's deeds. Then I stylize the story. I engrave it on the walls. And once I'm done, then you can entomb yourself. Alright, do it. Fine. Starting phytoscan. Commencing cross-check with the thin world. Cross-check complete. Your narrative is compiled. Now to engrave it. Peace. Peace to all the canter in the house of the coiled lamb. Now for one of my favorite parts of the game. Finding out my story. Like, the game randomly generates the stories of all the other sultans, and then you get to have your story on the walls. Wah, 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 wah. Of course, Auto Explorer doesn't respect that. Dumb Auto Explorer. In the month of Simen Ut of 1001, Revok the Reborn was gifted with a divine sight, older than sight. That's when I learned Clairvoyance. On the night of a full moon, Revok the Reborn manifested a latent power inside of them and joined the divine ranks of teleporters. Valiant Revok the Reborn discovered the location of Arcalep Coliseum, once thought lost to the sands of time. On the 16th of Ubu Ut, a fallen cherub gifted his broken wings to the traveler Revok the Reborn. So he mentions, like, he stylizes, you know, he makes creative liberties. The fallen cherub was, you know, just a dead body smashed into the earth. And we literally just took the wings for ourselves. Argive's apprentice. In the month of Tishu Eux of 1001 AR, Revok the Reborn emerged from the trash chutes of Golgotha, victorious and bathed in slime. In sacred ritual, Revok the Reborn shared their holy water with Noda Luminary, Barathrum the Old. After a climatic battle of wills, Revok the Reborn slew 852F07E4F, Extradimensional Stripfly, and Esper Stalker, and absorbed their psyche, thickening toward godhood. Man, I got a good story going for this one. Revok the Reborn was blessed to witness the rare formation of an Octosludge. Yes, he's standing next to me. Revok the Reborn was blessed to witness the rare formation of a Dodecasludge. Yes, it's the same man. He's next to me. Love. Revok the Reborn brought enlightenment to a simple, acidic, bloody, dilute, honeyed, lush, oily, salty, slimy, spice, sugary, tarry, waxen Dodecasludge, and bestowed upon him the name Uzi Reborn. After a climatic battle of wills, Revok the Reborn slew Emir no longer, Patoz Azaruk. After a climatic battle of wills, he slew Moke's extra-dimensional snail mother and Esper from the popular people of Male Symbol. On the auspicious 25th of Simen Ut, Revok the Reborn arrived at Tuazawar and began their prodigious odyssey through Kut. On the 6th of Iriut, Revok the Reborn died peacefully and laid to rest in the Tomb of the Sultans. That's today! After a climatic battle of wills, Revok slay Shuraj no longer Pato's terminal rook and absorbed their psyche, thickening toward godhood. While wandering around some flower fields, Revok the Reborn stumbled upon a clan of fungi performing a secret ritual. Because of its sandy hair, they accepted it into their fold and taught it their secrets. What a saga. What a saga. I don't remember that one. Blasphemously, the traitor, yes, Yes, it's on the wall. Caw, Troubadour, Merry Glowcrow, attacked Revok the Reborn, his water sib, and Revok the Reborn was forced to slay him. Deep in grief, Revok the Reborn wept for 1 year. Yeah, some sultans had already done all this by 8 years old. I'm kind of behind the curve here. While exploring Uruk Grove surface, Revok the Reborn closed the fabled contraption called the Hallowed Door. That's right, I closed the door. You know who didn't weep? Eros. Eros didn't weep at all. Well, R.I.P. See y'all on the other side. In fairness, Revok didn't have tools shoved in his mouth and dropped off on the steps. You died, entombed in the burial chamber of Chef, the last sultan. Ah, there it is. Man, I killed a lot of psychics in a row. Like tears in the rain, all these moments will be lost. Time to die. Oh. Oh.